Well, now to a cattle property deep in the Kimberley where they allow mug punters like me to round up the cattle. On the upper branches of a boab tree, corellas by the dozen gather, then darken the blue Kimberley sky as they fly en masse as if to welcome me to a brand new outback adventure. I'm at the Home Valley Station, which is owned by the Aboriginal community and controlled by the Indigenous Land Corporation. In the shadow of the impressive Coburn Ranges, there are cattle to be mustered, with the staff inviting a city slicker like me to join in. Riding with me is Chris Fennick, one of the management team who are developing Home Valley Station for a multitude of purposes.
I'm pushing it back out again.
This is harsh country to raise cattle.
Indeed, Greg. Very difficult. Great for tourism. We can carry a decent amount of cattle, but it's spin effects and rocks and gorge country. It's tough going. The pastoralists back in the early days decided that they'd look for a hardier beast. They introduced the shorthorn, and they've fine-tuned that to the Brahman breed that we now see.
A very interesting experiment taking place here because it is a working cattle property. You've got students here, TAFE students, Indigenous students, and you have tourists.
Yeah, the Home Valley project is underpinned by the tourism, but ultimately the Indigenous Land Corporation has committed to sustainable employment opportunities for those locals from in and around the area, from tourism, hospitality, horticulture, and that's our charter.
Joining Chris and I rounding up the cattle today is Cyril Mark Yeater Jr., a member of the local Indigenous group who's become an expert horseman.
My job is to look after the horse and the cattle and to make them look healthy and strong.
Okay, you've just been promoted?
As a stockman, head stockman.
How long have you been here, Cyril?
I've been here for 2 years now.
2 years, and you enjoying?
Yeah. So Home Valley is my second home. Good people, good friends, and really good at it, yeah.
It's something that we offer the tourists, and so what we're doing here is something that anybody can come to do at Home Valley. Yeah, no, you've been in great formation. You've been a good boss man. You've been great.
Bossy, you think?
Yeah, you've been calling the shots as well. You've been driving them. You've been getting us out on those flanks. The cattle's been doing what they're supposed to.
For me, the cattle muster is an exhilarating experience, enhanced by the fact I actually managed to stay in the saddle. Back on firm ground, Cyril takes me walkabout. There's his favourite mountain range, the Coburn, to admire. And a waterhole that on a day where temperatures are nudging 40 degrees is too inviting to resist. Flowing directly below the Coburn Ranges is the Pentecost River, filled, I'm told, with plenty of fish. The Home Valley experience leads to a fishing trip with two men who know these waters well, Diesel Evans and Joe Morgan. Now, to catch a big fish, you need to net some smaller ones, a task Joe undertakes on the banks of the Pentecost.
How many do you need, Joe?
Well baited, it's time to cast and catch. Diesel is pretty relaxed about the whole experience.
Here it comes. You ready to net him? Got him?
Yep, little baby jewfish. Not bad, 1.3.
1.3, and you need him to be?
Have to be at least 3.5 to keep.
So twice the size. Back in he goes.
Back in he goes.
And let's get this baited up and see you, fella.
Another cast. Another fish, this time a good-sized salmon.
That's a little salmon. Oh, hang on, he's bigger than I thought.
Salmon in these waters, ain't they? That's a damn good eat.
They're generally class better than barra.
That's lunch. Pan-fried or grilled?
Chuck it on the coals back on the camp.
A quick snap for the album, then it's back in the saddle for Chris Fennick. He's teaming up with his wife Nicole to savour the best of the outback.
Look, it's a sense of space. It's the landscapes, it's the wildlife. You develop a real passion for this land, and it's something that we really are very eager to share with the rest of the world. There's a lot of things about this area that allow you to discover a lot about yourself. You'll be amazed what you will do when you come up here that you would never think you would have done before.
The mornings, you know, that golden colours that come out of the spinifex, to the changing colours of the Coburn behind us every sunset, you never get sick of it. This place is full of life, and the outback, it's here for all of us. We love it.
We do love it, and there is a real romance about the Kimberley that we really want to invite people to come and discover for themselves.
One final experience at the Home Valley Station, a rendition of an all-Aussie song written and performed by Indigenous balladeer Peter Brandy.
Have you ever, will you ever begin to understand a way of life that comes from this land? And if you've never been, then you'll never know what it is to be Australian, what it is to be Australian.
When next we travel Oz, Australia's largest lake, Lake Argyle. Rock wallabies, euros, crocs, and bird life aplenty. And the site of the world's largest diamond mine. Also the biggest gathering of buskers in Australia. The two Tims take us to Coffs Harbour for non-stop performances. And the biggest flower show in the Southern Hemisphere. Canberra blooms for Floriade. And that is this episode of Travel Oz. I'm Greg Granger. Happy travels.
A way of life that comes from this land. And if you've never been, then you'll never know what it is to be Australian, what it is